telling us all the great ways to be dope. So, Rebel Jones, I am the hostess with the mostest here, Pink NYC Talks, and Carrie Abel. We're here live on Facebook, and Instagram had kicked us out, but it's all good because if you were there, you were there, and you got the jewel. For all of those tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in. Carrie, you were talking about your fine arts and what it's been like in quarantine, and pretty much just getting to know what works for you when it comes to not so much distraction but flow. So, how
Mhm.
can you elaborate more on how you've been able to flow during quarantine, and how has that been for your mental health?
Yeah. Um, I think that people have to be really understanding that artists can't just like create on demand, and that that when our bodies are experiencing feelings of extreme stress or fear, that pretty much like shuts off your creativity. So I think because I mean I've definitely had people in my life that are like, well, you're an artist, you can work anywhere, like all the time, and and so I think that, I guess just understanding that, I mean, as artists and poets and musicians and writers, to be kind to yourself and understand that, like, you are also not, you're not required to entertain people, and you have to take care of yourself first before you can take care of anyone else. um so I mean, I think realizing that has been good for me, because I try to I really try to think a lot about other people and other people's stress and pain. And when this all started, I was really focused on creating a free art class, and I did a handful of 4 or 5 episodes, which is still out, like it's up there, it's free. I'm really proud of it. But then I think I have kind of sensed that I needed to take some more time, like for myself and for my own practice. So I think just being like kind to yourself, and maybe, one day you don't get, I'm sure you feel this way too as a poet and as a writer, like, like there might be, maybe you were able to write like every day before this, and then it feels like I have so much more time. Why am I not like
Mm-hmm.
so prolific, like, so I think yeah, I've tried to be kind to myself, but also just um setting aside time, being like, okay, if I can do this for, an hour a day or whatever, I think once I'm started, then I'll generally feel better. Like, I found, like, if I can just get started with, okay, I'm something not overwhelming, like I'm gonna play 3 songs or something, like something that seems like normal, then if I was feeling super down, I'm usually better if I can just make myself do that. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've been really like super depressed. Like, it's been really rough. And but I
Oh,
know that I'm, yeah,
baby.
yeah, I know. So I've been like alone. So that's been really hard. Like, and I think it's probably been like one of the hardest things that I've ever dealt with, like, in my whole life. And um, but I have my mantra has always been, art is my light and solitude and friend in darkness. And I mean, and it's like saved me so many times, like, and I think from that, like, if we something helps us, like the creation of it, then it's what a gift it is if it can also help someone else.
Yes, I agree. And I just want to let you know too that I know that we just met each other, but we're connected to the same source of energy. So you always have a friend in me.
Oh, thank you.
And I send you lots of love. Remember that as much as as much as art is your light, you are light to art as well. You are a light to many people. All the people that were viewing you on Instagram were excited to hear what you had to say. And I think you just remember that there are people that want you here and that love you and care about you, even if they don't know you or know the sides of you that you may have shared with people closer to you.
Mhm.
So you are loved, you are cared for, and you
Thank
are
you.
needed in the community in every way. And art needs you as much as you need art. So remember that. Just want to
Thank
share.
you. That's really beautiful. Thank you
For
so
sure.
much.
For sure. So when it comes to being a fine artist, did you go to school for that, or was that something that you taught yourself?
So I have been drawing since I was very young, and my mom jokes that I came out of the womb with a paintbrush. Uh, yeah, so I was like, but neither of my parents were artistic. She was a CPA, and my father was a engineer. But I uh, was really fortunate to acquire a very, very talented mentor when I was 12. It's actually a really funny story. I was I was helping draw motorcycles at the Harley Davidson store when I was 12, and there was this amazing woman who was in her, I think at the time, like early 30s, and she'd just gotten back from grad school in New York, which I was like, oh man, like that's where I want to be, because I was in this like really small, really, really super small town, like outside of Detroit. And and she's like, who's this like little 12-year-old painting motorcycles like on the Harley Davidson store? So I pretty much like spent so much time with her until I graduated high school, and I like posed for her paintings, and she really taught me kind of the fundamentals of old Renaissance masters techniques and oil. And but I'd already been drawing very much before that, and she tried to teach one college class when I was like 13 or 14, and she was like, I'm never doing that again. My 13-year-old apprentice can draw better than that. Like, which I always remember, because I was like, oh, what an amazing compliment. But I really credit her with teaching me how to just like, I mean, I did a recreation of the Sistine Chapel when I was 18 at my college, and like, I mean, I did it with house paint, and people still talk about it. Like they introduce me as like the girl who like painted that, like if we were at school at the same time. So I never really, other than that, I mean, I pretty much taught myself, but like, oh man, I wouldn't be able to do like, I mean, the chemistry of oil painting is it's a science, I mean, like, to have something that is going to be around for centuries or decades, like, if people just start doing it, I mean, it might look good for like a year, but in 5-10 years it might crack, because they don't really understand like the chemistry of how to do the layers and things like that. So I mean, I'll be forever indebted to her for teaching me the mastery of that. But then I started, kind of just painting whatever comes out of my head, which is totally different than portraits. And I think a big departure from her. Like, I've always been more of a surrealist, I think. Like, I think it's so much more interesting to explore what we don't see and how we feel, because we have cameras. So it's like, I think just painting your own world instead of what is just in front of us, I just think is so much more interesting. Although I still do portraits. I love painting. What I love drawing. I love drawing really amazing female artists and writers, and that's the realist stuff that I still do. I do like portrait, like a
facial portraits and such.
Yeah, I still like doing that.
What was your favorite portrait? I know that you probably are not biased to your to the people who are your subjects. So, but what was your personal favorite to actually draw?
Oh, that I drew from real life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I did a drawing a couple years ago of this really, really incredible author, journalist, activist, Rula Jabral, that grew up as an orphan in Jerusalem, and she wrote a book about it called Moral. It's a movie now. I haven't actually seen the movie, but the book is amazing. It's based on her life, and she's been an activist in the Middle East, and she's a Italian journalist, and then also does I think she's more well known as a journalist in Europe than here. But I met her as one of the only other female speakers at this it was called like the Crystal Apple Mountain. It's in Turkish, so I can't really pronounce it, but I got to go to Turkey to give a speech on creativity, and it was like all men. It was all men, and then Rula and me. And so when I realized that, I was like, oh, like they asked me in spite of me being a woman, not like having anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, which I thought was pretty cool. But so she was there too, and so I just really bonded with her, and she's just, oh my gosh, like this woman is just incredible. I mean, she is friends with a lot of the female like world leaders, and actually like talks to them about like helps talk to them about like a really important speech, especially speeches that they're going to give where there's a lot of like sexist undertones and things that they're going to have to deal with like in that nature. Um, so it's funny because she just happens to be this like, I mean, she could have been a model, but she's like this amazing writer, journalist, activist that is, you know, friends with like you know, the former like you know, prime ministers of countries and stuff. So it's just like she's amazing. And that book blows my mind too, because it's like when you're like this, she grew up in Jerusalem. Like, you know, she was born like, I think she was like 47. She was born in with, you know, as an orphan in an orphanage in a war torn country. And look at what this woman has done, you know, like it's just
Nothing can break a woman. Not even having a baby can't break a woman. I mean, it can stretch her out, but it can't, but it's not going to break her. I think this says a lot about women. And that's why the turning of events in the as above and so below has definitely shown that we are now getting the praise that was overdue, the love and support that has been overdue in all races and cultures and religions are finally turning their face to giving the real things to the woman. And
Mhm.
I'm so grateful for that. And you'll learn, and I sense this in you and with you. And then from after this, after I make this statement, definitely would like to hear another poem and then we'll close out. But I want to let you know that artists are creating our new world. And with your being able to be a multidisciplinary artist, I know that you're going to shape our world in such a profound space. And I'm excited to be a part of that future with you for sure.
Oh, thank you. That's so beautiful.
For sure. So please, can we get another poem before we exit?
See. Um, okay, this is one of my favorites actually. Um, okay, this is called Everything. Um, I have no emotions, only words and colors expounding onto a page. I have no love, only devotion to that which means more to me than myself. I have no pride, only an awareness of who I am in the present. I have nothing, yet I have everything.
Oof, that is beautiful. And that is actually one of my prayers. When I'm on the go, I say, thank you, God, for everything and thank you for nothing. Right? Because it's thought that brings matter into its form. And so there are times when I'm not thinking the best of things and it doesn't come into form. So I'm grateful for that. You know, I'm grateful for the things that don't come into fruition. I'm grateful for the things I don't have. And I'm grateful for the things I do have. So that really stood out to me. I can definitely relate to that. With that being said, Carrie, Abel, thank you so much. I do apologize for the ending on Instagram, but
Well, that's all right.
they got what they needed.
Yeah,
You were dropping jewels, and the government was like, "Oh no, a billionaire." It's all good though. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen for you anyway. It's gonna happen for you anyway.
Thank
Believe
you so much.
believe that. Thank you so much for joining Pink Talks. We're here, Rebel Jones, and you've just tuned into Pink Talks here on Facebook. Make sure you go tune into our Instagram page as well as Find Your ID Instagram page. Make sure you check me out too, Rebel Jones at Living Rebel, but that's 2 L's, E__. I know it's complicated, but we rebels out here are not simple. Have you checked out Star Wars? Come on now. May the force be with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in. And we'll talk to you soon. Carrie,
Okay.
be blessed.
Bye. Thank you for your kind words. I enjoyed talking to you.
Same, and feel free to hit me up anytime.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Peace.
Bye.
Bye.